Family and fans, I'm Rachel, if you don't already know, and I have a very fun and very long, probably, video I'm gonna show you guys today. So, this video is gonna be all about my Disney College Program audition. So, if you don't know what the Disney College Program is, go ahead and watch one of my other vlogs, and like the first one, would probably be pretty good. I kind of explain what it is there, but the audition is a whole other thing entirely, because the Disney College Program isn't all about the audition for most people, but for some people like me, it kinda is. So, anyway, let's get to the chase, because this is there's a lot I gotta go over here. Alright, so I auditioned just yesterday, October 4th, in San Francisco, at 10:30 a.m. I live kind of in the Portland area, super northwest, so I actually flew down, got some standby tickets from some really good friends that are pilots, and they, my friend who is a pilot actually flew us down too, us being me and my good friend Alyssa, who was like my personal assistant on the trip, and is like part of the reason I was able to navigate the city, because that is very difficult, and after the audition my mind was completely like gone, so she kind of had to do all the thinking for me. Anyway, so yeah, big shout out to her and to the pilots and everybody else who supported this a ton, like my parents who helped pay for the expenses and everything. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Okay, so San Francisco itself was really awesome. I recommend to anyone going on an audition in a not familiar place, like, make it exciting and fun. Like, go out of your way to check the place out, especially if it's San Francisco, because there are a lot of things to check out. Like, take a weekend off, and it also helped me not stress about the audition. I was not thinking about the audition at all on Saturday because we were running around checking out Alcatraz and going to Pier 39, so that's a little tip I give to you guys who are planning on auditioning. Like, make it a fun thing, you know? Don't just tense up and focus on that audition only, because you will stress yourself out and burn yourself out. It's not good. Anyway, so yeah, we got there on Saturday, kind of in the middle of the day, did some sightseeing, and I actually got connected to a lot of people in the program via Facebook. And if you are part of the program and haven't done that already, go do that, because I mean, it can get a little crazy and weird, because, you know, anywhere you go where people are really extremely into something, you're gonna get some weird stuff, and that's totally cool. But it was a really good way for me to meet people. I already have my roommates, potentially, if I don't have to like change my dates or anything. That's all set in stone, but part of the piece of the audition is they could potentially accept me and want me to come for different dates, so they might not actually be set in stone, but anyway, that's another thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, so get involved on Facebook. We actually ended up having, so there's like an overall Facebook page, and then there was an event within that page for the San Francisco audition, and we actually, the people attending that kind of connected. There was about 20 of us on there, and we actually got to meet up in San Francisco in advance. Not all 20 of us, actually. It was like 4 or 5 of us that were actually auditioning, but it was so cool because they were total strangers. And then by the end of the night, well, kind of when I first saw them, they were like already my best friends. And it's so good to just totally go straight to the audition, make friends there. That's really easy, but if you have the opportunity to meet up with people beforehand, do it. I promise you, like, it will just be so good. And honestly, if nothing else comes out of this audition but like the friendships I made, I'm stoked. That part alone was like the best part, and my friend that just tagged along for the ride just kind of was like, wow, you guys are crazy, and it was just great. Anyway, so the audition itself started at 10:30 in the morning. The online site for auditions says don't arrive there any earlier than like an hour before, essentially. So it said 9:30 on our site, and apparently it's really common for lots of people to show up early, because I actually got there right at 9:30. I had like an hour drive with my friends, and we stopped at the Golden Gate Bridge and got there like right at 9:30, and there was a line almost out the door, and I was just like, cool, whatever. But I was really glad. I didn't want to be like the first people there. I walked in and, you know, signed in on a sheet and walked in the room where everybody was kind of hanging out, and there was like 50, 60 people there already, and I was actually glad, because that meant I could just walk right in and like target somebody and be like, hey, be my friend, and that's literally basically what happened. Shout out to you guys. That was really cool. So I actually connected with people early on, and then my friends that I had met the night before came in, and we like hugged each other like we had known each other for years. Literally, I got picked up and spun around, which is pretty easy because I'm like 100 pounds, but anyway, that's beside the point. And then we all kind of sat in a circle and we were chatting a little bit, and then somebody was like, let's play a game. Best idea ever. We played that little animal game where you kind of like, you pick an animal to associate with yourself, and we all went around in a circle and picked one, and then you have like a symbol to go with it, like bear or duck or bunny. I was bunny the first round. And then you go, you're kind of doing this little like beat, and then you go bunny, bear, or whatever, and you're basically like passing around whoever's in the hot spot, and like it makes you think quickly, and like it's funny because when you screw up you can be like bunny, that happened like so many times, and it was just really cool because it helped us all loosen up with these strangers, and it was great because I'm really bad with names, so I remembered everybody's animals, and actually everybody else kind of did the same thing, and then we like kind of remembered each other by the animals, and I'd be like, hey bear, what's up? And that was just great. So this is a piece of advice that I haven't heard anywhere else, but like if you can, and if it's not too weird, especially if you're getting there early, play a game, because there's only so much you can talk about, especially other than the audition, and you kind of don't want to just sit there and like again, like on Saturday, my suggestion is to go out and, or well, Saturday for me, whatever day, the day before, you know, do something fun. Same thing, just do something fun, and don't just like make everything about the audition, because I feel like if I had done that, you know, it would just feel like the pinnacle of my existence, which it still kind of did anyway. So yeah, so play a game, or just find a way to get comfortable and connect with more than one person. Like, it's really cool to make a really good best friend, but I liked that we kind of had this community, and then we kind of set up the tone for the audition, I think. About 98 people showed up, 98 or 97, I'm not sure, I'm going to stick with 98 because that's what I remember, but it doesn't really matter. Basically 100, let's go with that. Anyway, it set up this tone of like fun and excitement and community in a way, and basically that we are there to have fun, because that's what I feel is the bottom line. Like, obviously not everyone's going to get accepted, and you can't go in with the mindset of you are going to be a character and there's no other way. Like, you have to be more open-minded than that. And for me, I just, even though I feel like I have decent potential because I have like theater background and this is something I've been dreaming about, like, still my ultimate goal was just to make friends and enjoy myself, and I definitely did that. So we played our game, we got to know each other better, and then we were in a smaller dance studio, and then they're like, okay, let's go, and then we got moved into a bigger dance studio, and like the tension kind of came back a little bit, but then we kind of like, we checked in with each other, and we were just smiling like, okay, we got this, and we all kind of sat down in front of the mirror, because it's a dance studio, so, you know, you want to be able to see yourself, which is really helpful. And there were 3 judges, or recruiters, whatever you want to call them, and they were just these really sweet ladies. Like, you can just tell they have that Disney thing, and when you see it, you just know it. So that was really cool. They were sweet, and like, they were into it and excited and really good at like encouraging everyone and just being like, hey, this is about having fun, and let loose a little bit, you know. That was like the general conversation. So I'm kind of remembering these things, and I'll probably tell them a little bit out of order, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, it's just the way it went. So they talked to us, kind of let us know, like, hey, thanks for coming, welcome, this is the way things are gonna go, everybody sign up, So anyone who isn't able to, because we actually did it on our phones, this little manual, or yeah, like virtual sign-in thing. And yeah, we just went through that for a little bit, and then they handed out our numbers. Now, this did not have anything to do with us going in, like the order in which we went in. Like, I've heard in a lot of situations, like, it's based on, you know, if you're the first person in line, you will be number one. But no, we were just sitting in a big mass, and like, they started over here, and there were two of them, one of them was up front, and the two of them were just handing out numbers, and I ended up with number 9. I don't know, I kind of wanted a later number, but ultimately, it ended up being a good thing, and I'll explain later. Oh my gosh, this video is already 11 minutes long. Thank you for still watching this if you are. Okay, so they handed out numbers, and we all got our little sheets, and we turned them in, and signed up, and then the first thing they did was they had everybody line up to get their height taken without your shoes on. You gotta take your shoes off, but they want it to be as accurate as possible. And did that, and then they would just take a headshot of you. So 2 of the ladies were there doing heights, and they check it a couple times, so you can't really cheat. They'll figure it out, which was interesting because I thought I was like 5'1", not even, and they measured me at 62¼ inches, which, if you can't do that math, is, if I'm doing the math right, it's 5'2¼ So that's 0.75 away from being princess height, which is kind of a bummer because I think they have like a ½ inch rule. If you're within that ½ inch, you can be that, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. You know, I kind of already expected that I was too short to be a princess, but I know I'm in like the range to play like Chip and Dale, or maybe one of the mice, as in Mickey, Minnie. And oh, let me throw out this little terminology for you really quick. When I am an actress playing a character, it's actually called being friends with them. So if somebody tries to tell me, oh my gosh, you are so-and-so, I'll be like, no, I'm Rachel, and I'm friends with so-and-so. Just so you know. So if I use that terminal, now you know. Okay, so, and then, so the height range kind of right below the princesses is kind of like fairy range, which I thought I was in, but I might be too tall now. And then the other characters in that slot are like Alice and Wendy. And I have gotten a lot that I look like I could be Wendy, maybe, I don't know. Or Alice. I think I'm in the right height range to play her. And I hope I'm still in the right height range to play one of the fairies, which, if you don't know, guess what? There is more than Tinkerbell. Go watch the movies, dude. There's Rosetta, which is actually the person, or the character people say I look like the most like when it comes to fairies. Still my dream, ultimately, to play Rapunzel, but unless I grow a ½ inch, it's probably not gonna happen. Anyway, so that all happened, and then... Here's where I figure us playing that animal game from the beginning kind of set up the tone, is we kind of ended up in a circle again with a couple different people, a couple familiar people, and the circle just kind of started growing and didn't stop. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you sit down and a couple people come in, so you gotta scoot back, and a couple more people come in, so you gotta scoot back, a couple more, and like, until literally, like, all we were doing was just scoot, 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 and we were just scooting back, and then literally like 70-80 people out of the 100 people there were all sitting in this circle as if like we were all gonna try to interact somehow, which would be hard with 100 people, but we made it work. We played a giant game of telephone, and at one moment I just looked at the recruiters, and they were trying to do their job, but they were just like, what just happened, basically? Like they'd never seen that before. So that was pretty cool. I don't, like, recommend that or anything, and I don't know, but, like, I just love that. I love that we had that really fun, just, like, we're all in this together environment, and it was really funny. Little side story. The phrase that the initial person whispered around was, "A dream is a wish your heart makes," and it ultimately became like I spit pizza and shoes or something, or I spit shoes and pizza. Either way, we all got a good laugh out of it, and because it was like 80 people, it took about 5 minutes, and that was just like the one round we had. And then it was like an audition inside joke, basically. Like, we all kind of were like, ha, pizza and shoes, or whatever. Like, it just made me realize that we were all basically just giant 7-year-olds in college-age bodies, and that just made it even more fun, because I was just like, we're all giant dorks. This is amazing, and I wish this is how the world worked. So, anyway, I'm not getting through this list very fast. I had to make a list of all the things, and it's taken quite a long time, so I apologize. But hey, you decide to watch this video. You suffer the consequences. Okay, anyway. So, we did that, and then, okay, now down to technical stuff. The way our audition went is a little different than most. I had expectations from watching videos about other people's audition experiences. So if you are going to audition at some point, gear yourself up for it to not be the way you expect it to go. Bottom line, the Disney College Program audition is for both character performers and face characters. And I would put face characters and fur characters in the same category. Fur characters being those that wear masks and like the full body suits. So examples, Donald, Goofy, Mickey, obviously. Because if you end up being a face character, you are also required to play the fur characters. So the main thing they're looking for with fur/face characters is animation, which is your ability to tell stories elaborately with your body and no words. Because if you've ever been to the parks, fur characters don't speak at all. Surprise. And then, okay, so for the character performers, that is specifically parade dancers and then characters in the parade. So you'll see the people dancing, and then you'll also see, like, princesses in the parade and stuff. So, so it's animation and dancing. And so we were split up. There was about 20 guys, which was a pretty big turnout, I think. More than I was expecting, because is just a more girl-heavy thing. 20 guys, they were taken in the smaller room, and then like the 80 or so girls stayed in the main big room, and we were taught an animation, which I don't think I'm allowed to disclose. Or is disclose the right word? I'm not allowed to tell you, basically, because of Disney rules, which I want to respect. So, but we actually had a 2-part animation. So we were asked to do one thing, and then it kind of went with the other thing, but we were kind of telling 2 separate stories that went together. But the weird thing was, they did not give us the same amount of time to do each one. It like varied every time, so it really kept you on your toes, and I think they wanted them to be cohesive, so you had to find a way to transition from telling the first story of it in animation into the second one. And we practiced that for a pretty short time. Like, I kind of wish we had gotten more time to rehearse it, but it was what it was, I guess. And then right after that, we were taught the dance. So all 80 of us, 80 or so, were, we kind of spread out throughout the studio, and then we were taught the dance, basically. So I was expecting a pretty simple, like, march style dance, because I had heard that they would teach you a simple one and then a more difficult one, and that was not the case. They just taught us the whole, I assume, what was the more difficult dance all at once. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I wish I actually had more time to like get it down, because I felt so good, except I wasn't doing it right, and so it was very funny. And so if you were in the front row, you would be watching and you'd dance, and like after a period of time they would switch. So if you're in the front, you'd move back and everybody would move up. So everybody would get a chance to be in the front and see, and also to have the casting directors see them, which at that point that's not the most important time, but they're still kind of always judging you. So that's the interesting part of these auditions is their eyes are on you all the time, so you're always auditioning, as they say. But what it came right down to was the actual audition part was we were lined up from number 1 to 98, or whatever it was, and we were divided up into groups of 6. And then each group of, or they called us families, and each family of 6 would go up. So I was in the second one because I was number 9. Each family would go up, and they would do their dance twice. So, and again, you'd get a chance to be in front in these windows, and then they'd switch. So everybody gets a chance to be seen, hopefully. And then the animation was right after. I think it was 2 times. I was so, like, everything was happening so fast and stuff that I was just like, I don't even know. So that, and then right after that, they went into the animation. And you would do the first animation, and then they'd say switch, and then you do the next one right away. And then you would, like, at the end of each thing, you would, like, hold your pose, whatever that pose was. And then eventually they would tell you to relax. And then the main audition director person, it's really a lame description, but anyway, would take a couple notes, and she might say, okay, number 4, stay, everybody else is free to go. And then that was it for everybody else. And then in my group, we did our thing, and then they asked a couple of us to stay. One of them was me, and I was really excited and blown away. But they asked like 3 or so, so I was like, okay, so maybe they're gonna keep, like, I don't know, 40% or so. And so those people were sent away, and then I was sitting there and I was watching each group, and they weren't asking anyone to stay after that. Like, people were doing amazingly, but they just kept getting sent out, and came right down to 98 or 97, and they had only kept like 7 or 8 of us, and everybody else left, and I was just like, wait, so are they gonna teach us another dance? Like, what's happening? They didn't. The people that they kept at the end just had pictures taken of them. Another straight on, and then a profile, and then that was it. There wasn't any wig trying on, there wasn't any like reading a script or anything like that happens in some auditions, but it was kind of nice in a way because people weren't getting like cut, because there wasn't like a first and second real like main round. It felt like everybody was having a chance to be considered, and then what would be assumed for the last group is that we are being considered for face characters, which is really exciting because that's my dream. And one of the things I noticed though is that there are other girls that I could see, like, man, I feel like they might have that look, and but weren't kept. But there was about 5 of us, I would say, that were all about in the same height range and have the same kind of face shape. Just like, I don't know how to describe it, round-ish, yay, pretty, I guess. Little self-promotion there. No, not really. But I mean, just being honest, like, it looks like we could potentially be a cartoon. Maybe, I'd like to think, but I don't want to get too specific and too picky here and say, and I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I don't want to make any too big of assumptions. And I also would like to think and do believe that everybody there is still being considered. There aren't people that they're just like, no, I feel like they're going to go back through and look at each one and be like, okay, what was this person's strong suit? And I know that my strong suit wasn't dancing, so it makes sense that they would consider me for face/earth. Yeah, so that is really exciting and amazing, and I'm so thankful that I made it that far. And that was it. We left after that. There was like, it was really cool. There was like a farmer's market around the corner, so we went and bought like these delicious strawberries, and then I found some friends that I had made right after, and they were having pizza, and they let us finish their pizza, and it was just like a perfect day. But anyway, I want to talk about more specifically, before I hit like an hour time-wise, I'd like to talk more specifically about the like face character piece in the fact that I'm being considered. I am no better than anyone who auditioned by being considered a face character. I'm not prettier. Some of you might think so, but I don't believe it. And that's not me saying I'm not pretty. I think everybody is beautiful. And I remember there was actually a time where I was like, man, if I don't look like a princess, I'm not pretty. And for anybody who has ever thought like that, like, it's just another way of comparing yourself to the unrealistic expectations of the media. Sorry to get all deep on you, but like, for those of you who have auditioned or are auditioning, if you don't make it to the end, honestly, the way I see that is you are too you to be a character. And that's a good thing. That means you are distinct enough, you have an adorable mole or like crooked teeth, which I think is cute. Don't go there. Or like maybe a smaller head, or like, I don't know, more stuck out ears. Those are traits that make you you, and never ever put yourself down about that, okay? And this goes for everyone, like, not even people just auditioning. And again, like, here's the thing is, I don't want to be considered elevated by the fact that I'm being considered, or the possibility that I might be being considered as a face character. I don't think I even said that sentence right, but yeah, I don't want people to see me as better because I'm not. I just so happen to be lucky in the fact that I might look like someone. And I'm saying this also, like, if and when I become a face character or even a fur character, that's a pretty special role. I'm not better. Just bottom line, I was in the right place at the right time, and God worked out my genetics just right to make me look like so and so. Like, that doesn't make me better than anyone, okay? And I'm mostly just like really pushing this because people were like, there were people who said things to me like, oh, it's just so awesome to be friends with someone who's even being considered to be a face character. It's like I felt a tiny taste of what it might feel like to be a celebrity, and I don't like it. So, you know, like, say congratulations, and if that does happen, and like, you know, be happy for me, but don't be like, wow, she's so much better, or like, wow, she doesn't deserve that. Like, I kind of don't. I mean, okay, maybe I do. I've wanted this for a really long time and put a lot into making it happen. But anyway, it's all in God's hands ultimately. And yeah, I just want to encourage you also, for those who didn't get in, if you're somebody watching this who has auditioned or wants to audition, like, try again. If you still think you have what it takes and you still can picture yourself as somebody, like, just go for it. Do it. It's about, you know, them seeing the right moments, because they don't watch you the whole time, and you could do just the perfect thing, just big and extravagant, and they could miss it, and you just need to go back and do it for them again. But anyway, that's kind of my spiel. Also, I want to mention that if I do get a character, I am not allowed to tell anyone who I get to be friends with, because that is, like, the biggest no-no. Like, it's all about Disney, it's all about character integrity and maintaining that Disney magic. Because if I go around telling little girls, oh, guess what, I play Rapunzel. Guess what, Rapunzel doesn't seem real to them anymore. And that's really upsetting. And even as adults going into the park, you still want to see characters as characters, not just like girls in costumes, because they're more than that. They are bringing a character to life. That's the way I like to see it. So anyway, sorry that this is insanely long. I don't even know if I could have made it any shorter because I talk so much, and like, look at all this. So much happened, and there's probably even more I can mention. If you have any questions, contact me via Facebook, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment. I will do my best to read them. If you are a Disney person and I have said too much, please let me know so I can take this down, and I apologize, but I tried to make sure I knew what was okay to say and not. But anyway, thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a magical day!